Let us put ourselves into bandhan. After raising our kundalini, raise. Attention on your sahasrara. Don't close your eyes. Push back your head. 1. Again. Sit straight. Take it up on your head. 2. 3. Now a bandhan. 1. Slowly. 2. With attention on the sahasrara. 3. How do I do it? 4. 5. Good. 6. Attention on sahasrara. 7.
त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री निर्मल गणेश साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं धर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं खल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं ऋतं वच्मि सत्यं वच्मि अवत्वं माम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवदातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुचानमवशिष्यम् अवपश्चात्तात् अवपुरस्तात् अवुत्तरात्तात् अवदक्षिणात्तात् अवचोर्ध्वात्तात् अवाधरात्तात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात् त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः त्वमानन्दमयस्त्वं ब्रह्ममयः त्वं सच्चिदानन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तो जायते सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तस्तिष्ठति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमिष्यति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति त्वं भूमिरापो नलो नीलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वं देवत्रयातीतः त्वं त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यं त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वं इन्द्रस्त्वं अग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवः स्वरों गणादीं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादि तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारः परतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण रुद्धम् एतत्तव मनुस्वरूपं गकारः पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वाराश्चान्त्यरूपम् बिन्दुरुत्तररूपम् नादसन्धानम् संहितासन्धिः सैषा गणेशविद्या गणकऋषिः निःसृद्गायत्री छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता ॐ गं गणपतये नमः एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ती प्रचोदयात् एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशमङ्कुशधारिणं रदं च वरदं हस्तैर्बिभ्राणं मूषकध्वजं रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितं भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणम् अच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृतेः पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमथपतये नमस्ते स्तुलम्बोदरायैकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवसुताय श्रीवरदमूर्तये नमो नमः साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
सब करके स्वागतम आज हमारे बीच पधारी श्री माता जी आपनी तारी। हे झुम झुम के करते हैं गाँव, हे झुम झुम के करते हैं गाँव। हे स्वागत आगत स्वागतम, स्वागत आगत स्वागतम। वर माता जी के दर्शन पाकर फूलों की माला पहनाते हैं, प्रेम फूलों की माला पहनाते हैं। स्वागत आगत स्वागतम, स्वागत आगत स्वागतम,
सब करते स्वागतम, हम सब करते स्वागतम। आज हमारे बीच पधारे श्री माता जी आवतारे।
झुम झुम के करते हैं गान, झुम झुम के
करते हैं गान।
स्वागत आगत स्वागतम,
स्वागत आगत स्वागतम।
निर्मल माँ से विनती हमारी,
निर्मल माँ से विनती हमारी।
After the great tour, after the great tour of UK, I feel very confident that Sahaja Yoga is taking its roots, and you can see some of the plants coming up. It's surprising when I declared that it may be the last tour I'll be doing of UK, that things have started working out. Everywhere we went, it was very good and successful, especially certain places it was very miraculous. You must have heard about the lady who would not go out of her house, was suffering from agoraphobia, and the press challenged us that she should be cured because she can't go out of the house. And only on her photograph and treatment she got cured, and now she's walking about, and they have given a big report saying that the Guru fulfills her promise. This is one of them, and there are many things have happened of this kind, of which you should get the report. I must say I found all the Sahaja Yogis very cooperative, very alert, very helpful, and extremely progressive. And I was happy that they are trying to come up and improve themselves, build themselves up, and are doing much better than what I had expected, really. I was very, very enamored by all of them, and I hope that by the time it is 12 years, we'll be all absolutely top-class Sahaja Yogis of the world. Now today is a very great day of Raksha-bandan. So I have to tell you something about Raksha-bandan. Before that, what was the point?
We were going to talk about the marьяды, and we're going to talk about the differences between the right and the left side supraconscious.
We have to talk about the maryadas that are to be observed by Sahaja Yogi. One of the things I discovered here in the West, that though we have understood the importance of Muladhara, which is a very important, and that unless and until we re-establish our Muladhara fully, we are not going to have a speedy ascent. Despite all that, still there are lingering things you see around. Like people start choosing their life partners in Sahaja Yoga. That is not allowed. That is not allowed. You are not to spoil your ashrams, your centers, using them for a marriage searching society. You must respect. This point you must respect. If you have to marry, then you can find your life partner outside Sahaja Yoga to begin with. But if you want to marry in Sahaja Yoga, then you should not go on searching people in Sahajog. It's a very dangerous thing for Sahajog itself and for you people. That is one thing one should never try to do with Sahajogis. For all practical purposes, you are brothers and sisters, and that's why I always encourage marriages between people who belong to another country or another center. As we are now having a marriage big program, I would say that most of the marriages which were done like that are very successful than the marriages that were selected and were done. It's very wrong to do such a thing as to arrange your marriage with a Sahajogi by yourself. It will be dangerous, I don't want to say anything, but it won't turn out to be good because it is anti-God activity. Absolutely anti-God. You are supposed to develop your brahmacharya. You are supposed to develop your muladhara. Instead of that, if you start using a Sahajogini or a Sahajogi for the selection of your married life, it's going to be very, very troublesome. Your muladhara will not settle down. I mean, that's a very back stroke for your development. Because of the background and the kind of conditioning you have had, you people don't understand that it is important to maintain the purity of the centers and of every place. So any such relationship in one city is a very wrong thing. It spoils everyone. To add up to the trouble, it's a habit of people I have heard that they try to tease that you look better together, you are nice together, they tease and enjoy. It's a kind of a very perverted enjoyment of Muladhara. To tease others, you are looking very nice with him and you better marry. It's a kind of a romantic nonsense. Of course, for all the yogis, they have to have a brahmacharya. But even if you can't have brahmacharya, you must have maryadas. Not to tease each other and enjoy that kind of a nonsense when the marriage is not settled. Marriage settled is alright. And this kills completely the joy of marriage because there is no curiosity left. And many times I find that absurd relations are established. Some of them are really no good and they will really be detrimental. And some of them never are established. So if they are established, they are wrong. And if they are not established, they are heartbreaking. So all these kind of things we should not do. We've got experiences of people who married outside and brought wonderful people to Sahajoga. If you can do it, you should do it. But if you have to marry Sahajoga yogis, you should not marry them at the cost of destroying the purity and the idealism it has. For your own sake, for your own pleasures, you should not spoil the name of Sahajoga. That is one thing I have seen. So I would say that today, as it is the day of purity between relationship, let us know that you have to treat each other as brothers and sisters. No such play should be followed. Don't allow your mind to drift into this. Because if you allow, then there is no end to it. As it is, you know, it is how hard it is to bring you back to normalcy. When Christ has said, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes, he didn't say it because it was not practical. It is quite practical for Sahajogas. And there is nothing to worry about marriages so much. What is so important? So many are married and what has happened to them? Even with Sahajoga marriage, some of them have failed because of these bad habits. So you better get rid of these bad habits before marriage. Because after marriage also they go on like this and searching for boys and girls. Because if these habits are not curbed before marriage, then they go on lingering on. So one should not try to do all these things before marriage. And I have seen such marriages are never successful so far. And even if they are, it is a sort of a make-believe thing. It doesn't give real joy. It's a joyless pursuit. Maybe in one case, maybe successful, but that doesn't mean that you should take any help from such difficult things, but have normal marriages which are enjoyable, which have created permanent bondages between people. All the marriages. Now we have to understand the maryadas about which I have told you before also. Relationship between men and women are only pure if a certain amount of boundaries are kept. Like supposing you have milk in one container and you have got something else in another container. To keep the purity of one container, you have to keep it in its bounds, in the cup. If you allow them to mix up, if they fall together and they mix up, then there is no purity left. It's a simple thing like that. One should understand. That we have to understand that how to keep our relationships in proper respect to each other's modesty and chastity. Now, for example, there is a girl who is younger to you. You must keep all the distance from such a person. If she is much older than you, then it is all right. You can talk, laugh, joke. She is much older. But normally with a girl who is younger to you, even much younger, you should try to keep away. After all, if she is a young girl, not with the children, but still, you must learn these things, how to maintain a distance. Now there is a man who is younger to you. Then you must not have any funny ideas about such a person. It's absolutely absurd. If some gentleman is younger to you, it's in only perversion you do such. See, you should not have any funny ideas about that person. It's only done when there are emergencies, when there is no possibility of a marriage, when there are so many women or so many men, or under perverted conditions. We don't have none of these conditions here. So we have to behave like normal people. And when the proper atmosphere is given to us, why not make use of it? Why should we create absurd things? Then they come out to me saying that, Mother, now we have decided to marry, let us marry. I have to say yes. Many things I don't want to say yes, but I have to say yes. But creates a very bad precedent. Maybe that in certain cases, as an exceptional case, I might have chosen to marry somebody like that. But that doesn't mean you should take things into your hands and just start doing things like that so that I'll have problems later. Because once you do like that, then anybody starts doing, it's a kind of an aggressiveness. That you arrange something, come to me, say, Mother, we want to marry. Now what am I to say? All right, marry. But it creates a problem for me, for the rest of the people. They'll say, all right, if he has married a girl who is 20 years younger, why not I marry a girl who is 30 years younger? You must understand my problems. If you ask me for something, Mother, should I do it? You really force me into it, I have to say yes. But I cannot be very strict with you because I am your mother. But you should be sensible what to ask me, how far to go. This is the biggest maryada you have to learn. Suddenly you will come, Mother, should I sit here? What do I say? Should I make this gentleman sit here? What should I say? All right. You yourself should not ask such a question. Because sometimes you give undue importance to somebody who is my brother, who is my sister, something, and make that person sit on my head. Sometimes you telephone to me, Mother, she would like to talk to you. Who is she? Is she all right? Should we take her to Mother? Is she capable of talking to Mother? What is her condition? Will she trouble Mother? Nobody thinks about it. So you must first establish your relationship with me of proper understanding that you should not try to trouble me. But this is something is not yet in my hands. I think because people do not understand what they are doing. So first try to see that you don't try to take advantage of me. And secondly, don't try to bring people to me who do not deserve it. There is no need to waste my time with them. I have so much things to be done, so many ideas to be formulated. I have to work so hard. You know, I am working harder than any one of you, those who are doing surgery. And at this age, if you try to trouble me like that, I don't know how to tell you that don't trouble me. In the presence of the person you will come. You will bring the person on my head. Oh, that person has come from Timbuktu and I have brought him. Just you do it. It's aggressiveness on me. Please don't try to do that. This is a wrong thing to do. So the maryadas are to be established first with me, that understand that you should not try to trouble me at all like this. Secondly, you must try to please me by being good people. I hear that somebody is trying to be very egoistical. He doesn't even put on my tapes, he just gives his own lectures. This kind of a thing is very surprising. How can people do like that? Try to bring down your egos, super egos. You must learn to please me. Prasanno bhavet. Devi prasanno bhavet. If you cannot make the Devi prasanna, what will be your achievement? As Rustam says, I am Mahamaya. Alright. But don't you know that I am that? So try to keep to it and keep that understanding that if you have to grow, we must have proper relationship with Mother. And we must understand what will displease her the most. Am I pleasing her by doing this? But if you force me, if it pleases you, will do. Then what am I to say? Alright, go ahead. If it pleases me, I'll just spontaneously say, alright, it pleases me, go ahead with it. Like that, so many things are there that people just try to force on me and I say yes. But I'm very cunning and clever in that, because I tell you in a way that you should realize that it is not joy giving. Alright, whatever it is. Now the second thing is that the maryadas of relationships between you is relationship of pure love, of purity. Unless and until you develop pure relationship, you are going to be ruined. See, this finger has to have pure relationship with this hand. Supposing this finger has some dirty feelings about this hand, it may dirty it. It may spoil it. In the same way, we should have extremely pure relationships with each other. Means we should try to give our heart to another person without any lust or greed in it. That we should try to. Try to help each other. I find when they feel in a lusty way or a greedy way attached to others, this is not for the Sahajogis but non-Sahajogis, they get so much interested in that person. It's a very baser way of attachment. But in Sahajoga, your attachment is with your spirit, with your Atma. And Atma is the purest form of our being. We have to keep it absolutely pure. And then the enjoyment is higher than any romance, any marriage, any worldly thing. It's the highest and the top. First achieve that. First of all, you should arise and achieve that. Achieve that purity. That is very important. Now the relationship between the men and women, I have told you that you should not try to enter into any bedrooms where the ladies are. It's not proper. Not the women should enter into men's things. But it's very common. Women should not behave in the way other women behave. Like I was told in a wedding in Maharashtra that the women went and took out all their clothes. I mean, that's not England. They got a shock, Some of them lost their appetite for 3-4 days. They have never seen such women in their lifetime. Those they went and took out their clothes suddenly, all of them. I mean, they were shocked, so much shocked that 3-4 days they didn't eat their food. So you have no business to shock them also. Because if you go to somebody's country, you must know in what way they live. It's never done. Nobody becomes nude like that. And about 20 girls, if suddenly they become nude, what will happen? So the sense of shame must be developed. Among men and women, it looks nice, it looks beautiful, it gives you an additional charm if you have the sense of shame, a little bashfulness. See, your Princess of Wales is regarded as something beautiful, she's bashful. Her bashfulness is so natural. That bashfulness is not there like a, I don't know, like what animal does that. But somebody who has no shame, I mean, I just don't know which one is that. Everybody has a sense of shame, even animals. So why shouldn't we have that sense of shame, how to behave towards women, how to... Suddenly there is no need to just... I've seen one lady going from India, going from England to India, and she just went and put a big slap on the back of Mr. Modi. Hello Modi, how are you? And Modi got such a crumple down. She didn't mean, she was innocent. But that's not the way in Sahajaga we are going to behave, like some sort of a debonair or some sort of a fantastic, a modern woman, you see, walking with them. One must understand, one must have a sense of shame how you talk. Even with me, they talk with a hand like this. Motherly thing is happening. But there's no need to do all that, you see. Talk in a way that is gentle and beautiful. The other day I met a very nice taxi fellow. And I tell you, his gestures and things were so beautiful. Immediately I said he's a realizer. He would not say anything without putting his hand like this and with his eyes down below. He would not say something like that. Nothing of the kind. So sweet he was. His whole gesture, he's an Englishman, brought up and bred here. Not a single vulgar word he said. Like one of your players was so stupid when Princess Anne went to meet him, he said all kinds of things. It's a kind of ego or stupidity, I don't know. Because how you talk, how you speak, everything should be saintly. You are saints now. Do you realize? You are all saints. So how you behave with dignity towards each other, how you respect their dignity, how you live is very important. And that you should try to maintain in a way that looks like a saintly behavior. You have to be a saint. And that is not difficult for you to take to that you behave in a manner that you are saintly. This is very important, I must tell you, because I have seen that these maryadas, it would be killing, it would be absolutely killing Sahajoga if you do not keep your maryada. That is one of the most essential things one has to do. I have told you again and again how you dress up, how you bear yourself up, how you talk, how you listen to others more than you talk yourself, how you become non-aggressive is the best way to impress people and to express such. I tell you, as it is, people have started saying they are very beautiful people. You can see they are very beautiful. You can see they are very different type. It's something different. They are something great. People have started saying. But still we lack in certain things, like we start going on a plane which is not suitable to our stature, to our dignity, to our position as saints. We are all prophets, and prophets have to behave like prophets. They cannot behave like cheap type people. So in that we have to understand the maryada. Now the maryada to your leaders also, you should be respectful. I have seen that nobody calls anybody, even the children will call somebody, say, elderly person also. Never they say call them uncle or anything. It's a wrong. You must teach your children to call elders by the name as brother or uncle or someone. Give some respect to the elders. But when the leader is also not respected, what is the question of it? I have seen little boys calling big married people with 3-4 children by name. That's not our style. We should never do it. I saw this, even my husband's office has this problem. Because when I came, you see, they all call you by name. Tom. He's such a big man, he's called Tom and all that. So CP looked at it, it's like that. And we always call them, even the drivers, we call them by the name Mr. See? So we couldn't understand why is it like this. Is he being democratic or something like this? See, that's how we become democratic. We must respect. We must respect each other, must call them by higher names. Especially when in a meeting there are people, you should call them each other, even your friends, by Mr. So-and-so. It's all right for me to call you, if it will look very funny if I call Mr. Brown or Mr. Reeves, because they are my children, you see, I'm their mother. But for you, because you are on equal thing, at least call them Mr. and say something in a way which is good. Like English language have many words like please, thank you, all these must be used profusely. We are going back a little bit. We are now becoming much more modern. That we should give up and become less modern and more elevated. Now the whole idea of this maryada is such that when you have called somebody a sister or a brother, then it is not only lip service, you are my sister. It is something innate and very deep. You have to develop that feeling of a sister, because that's how your sublimity will go, your left Vishuddhi will improve, your Vishnu Maya will be satisfied. If you call somebody a sister, the sisterly and daughterly relationships and motherly relationships always bring down, you see, the so-called ego which is hiding in the left Vishuddhi. So try to be kind and gentle with the person you call the sister. Stand by. Look after. If somebody you call your brother, you have to pray for his protection, then you must know that you have a right to ask him for his protection also. But you must also give something to him, and you must try to look after him, welcome him to your house, and treat him as somebody, a part and parcel of your being, because he's very much near to you, because he's your brother and he's much closer. But such a brother should not try to dominate the wife. This is the maryada. Again, like a brother is, some boy is very friendly with the brother, or a lady is friendly as a sister, then she should not try to put a wedge between the husband and wife. That is the worst thing to do, is to put a wedge between husband and wife. Anybody who tries that must know is a mean person. One should never try to put a wedge between husband and wife. I know there are problems between husband and wife, I'll put them right. But you don't try to put any wedge between them, and don't try to create a problem. If it is problematic, it is for me to solve, not you people don't have to solve, and don't interfere with their marriage life. Let them be as they are. I will find out how they are, I'll try to help them. But it's very wrong to play with their married life or with their married problems and suddenly jump on somebody. Is a very wrong thing, which is very common here. A woman is in distress, you see, a man will come to help her. Even if she's married, he'll elope with her. This is how he comes to help her in the distress, to create another distress for her. So this is how one should understand that this kind of a cheap heart-giving business and taking business is not for surgeons. In our heart resides the spirit. We are dignified people, and in that dignity we have to rise and live with that dignity. Not to cheaply allow the spirit to be insulted or dominated or subjugated to anyone. Now the relationship with children also one should understand. I have seen some people have a habit of getting a child very much closer and pampering that. Oh, that child is this thing. Oh, that child. Let the parents handle the child. You just don't interfere, others should. Don't interfere much with them. If you find any child is such and such, inform me, I'll cure the child. But if a child is being spoiled by you, it's the worst thing to do is to harm that child, is to spoil. Children here are very clever and intelligent, you must know. They are very good at manipulating. They will, because they are extremely precocious. They are realized souls. They are born in this country. What a combination. At that time, you must be very careful as to their training. From the first 5 years, all the parents must be extremely strict with children. Extremely strict. Don't allow them to overpower you or manipulate you. It's very important. If you allow them to overpower you or to dominate you, they'll sit on your head. Tell them not to do like that, and one day will come when you will come and say, Mother, what to do? These are realized souls, and you see we were looking after them. They are not deities. They are not deities to be worshipped. They are only realized souls. So keep them at that point, and you are my trustees of those children. And if you spoil them, it is you who will be held responsible. You have no business to spoil the lives of these children as such yogis and their chances of ascent. So if they are born realized, they are not deities. This you must understand. They are not beyond corruption. They are not beyond all kinds of things. So this, if you understand this little point, that dealing with your children, you have to be really strict. They must know how to meditate. They must know how to pray. They must know how to respect. And all the good things you must teach your children. And don't allow them to sit on your head. Many people have ruined the lives of their children like this. Now will you please see that such child is brought into proper level. If the child is trying to take liberties with you and cheeky and does not listen, please give that child to some other Sahaj Yogi to look after, whom you think can look after, and see that the child is put right. Nip in the bud is the best way, because we don't want to have children who are spoiled, who are spoiling other children, nor we want children who are subjected to such children. So you can have proper children, well-behaved children, sensible, wise children, because they can really be a drag on you, on me, on everyone if you do not properly bring them up. And they are our liabilities, we have to look after them. So the relationship between the father and children, mother and children is important. Actually, the mother should look after the child much more, and the child must respect. Father should never scold the mother in the presence of the child. That's one thing one must understand. That if the father starts scolding the mother in the presence of the child will have no respect for the mother. But the respect must be maintained, because if the wife respects the husband, then the child will know how to respect her and the husband too. So the whole thing is built up like that. Is a kind of a pattern for children to follow. One should not try to dominate the husband, at least in the presence of children. That it is very wrong, because then the children learn that trick and they start dominating you. So it flows from you to children. So try to see that if you have to do anything, then you do it yourself and respect the husband. And in a way that is very obvious to the child that the father is respected by mother, and they are just like monkeys. The way you behave, they behave. So you allow them to behave in a particular manner, they will behave that way. But if you put a good pattern, the other day I was thinking how Indian children are so obedient, so sensible. They will never ask for it, I want this, I want that. They never manipulate. What happens? What happens? How do they do it? The reason is, I think, is a good pattern in the house. Everybody knows whom to respect, how to behave. The relationship with Sahaja Yoga has to be even more than this, much more subtler. For example, if this I have said before also, if we are in a room, try to give another person a room. Always try to do for that. If you have to pay, better pay yourself. Not that wait for another person to pay. Try to do it yourself. Run forward to do it. You see, if somebody is carrying the luggage, you run. You do it. That is the way a Sahaja Yogi should be. Mostly children are like that. They'll say, I'll get it. I'll do it. I'll receive it. Maybe ego you might call it, whatever it is. But that is the style you all have to achieve by organizing a proper type of an image for the whole society, that if somebody needs something, you run up. You want water? All right. You want this thing? You take mine. Food also, same thing. First, let others have. Not that you should have anything. How you eat your food is very important. Everything is very important for the children to see and to behave like that. In money matters also I have seen that people should be very, very sensible and should have proper maryadas. Now, with me, whatever maryadas you want to keep, you must understand, it is very embarrassing to talk about it. But so far, as you know, that I had to shell out a lot of money to manage many funds, many things. And last time also we had many people who came free, doesn't matter. But now, as it is, they have put a, will you not do just now? In my lecture, why should you do? Just do it. At the time, now, when we are talking about maryadas, we must know that in any case, mother should not be made to pay anymore, because we are so many, we should try to manage, if possible. Like yesterday, I had a person from BBC, and he said, it is wrong of you not to take any money from them. I said, where is the money? No question of taking. I have to pay myself. It's no question. But he said, I said, it is so invaluable that how can you charge for it? You cannot charge for it. It's very invaluable. The spirit is very invaluable, and you cannot charge for it. So he was insisting, it took half an hour on this subject only. He said this Anglo-Saxon brain won't understand unless and until you make it little more money-oriented or something. I said, I cannot, tell me how much to be paid. Just to shut him down, I said, what about Christ? How much money did he take? By God's grace, I am quite well off, and I really don't need either. But he needed. Still, he never took any money from anyone. Then he kept quiet. But this is what it is. You see, that people think that you are getting it easy, cheap, and that's why you want to take advantage, which is wrong. You must respect. You must respect and understand that it is never good to take any advantage of it. On the contrary, whenever it is possible, we should try to do whatever is possible for Sahaja. It's very important. Try to surrender. Not that I will take any money from you, you know that, I don't want any money or anything. But surrender yourself. Absolutely to Sahaja Yoga. That's the best way people have risen and have done so. Now the relationship among yourselves, among different groups, among different nations. We should try to help people who supposing there's a couple now wants to go to India to get married. Now if they don't have money, of course I'm there. I said, all right, they need not pay any money, I'll pay for it. But Warren has put down his foot. He says, why not the people or the center help them out for the time being? You see, because they help. Now supposing they have helped somebody, he had no money, he went to India, he got married and then he got lost. You see, he misbehaved. In the sense he doesn't talk to anyone, he thinks not of himself, then he started behaving in a funny manner. So a kind of a feeling came into their mind that why should we do it? If you do it for somebody, he behaves like this. If you try to help somebody, is this a natural reaction that if you try to do something for someone, then people try to misbehave? That's not so. Must be one person has done it. That doesn't mean that everybody has done it. That's what it is. They say that a kind of a barrier is built in a person who is helped by us, their ego is challenged, and he tries to behave in a manner which was never known before, and he starts behaving in such a funny manner that he doesn't talk to anyone, he keeps out and he becomes mad with his ego. So his ego is hurt. There's nothing to feel hurt, because if you have no money and if it is one part and one body, if somebody helping you out, doesn't matter, you can help when you are well off to somebody else. But when it comes to you, you give up. So this is a very absurd type of a behavior of one individual or two or three or maybe 5 or 10, doesn't matter. But still we must not forget that we have to help. We have to help as many as possible. And we must try to do whatever is possible for us, for others. This is important. If we cannot do for a group like Sahaja Yogis, whom are we going to help? So we have to give that help. Now in Sahaja Yoga itself, on the subtle basis, we should not try to judge anybody's vibrations. It is very common in people, oh, you are caught up on your argument. Oh, you have got this wrong. Let me clear you out. You sit down. Morning till evening, without meditating, they are clearing each other's chakras and catching on us. This is absolutely wrong idea. Everybody individually should sit before the photograph, get the vibrations. Every morning there should be a discipline. You must know the system of Sahaja Yoga today has worked out this way. That I have given you realization just to say that let your light be enlightened. Now you have to see your lamp, if it is clean or not, only possible when the light is enlightened. See your lamp if it is enlightened or not. See it. If somebody is over-aggressive, then it's all right, you make a joint attack on that person and tell of that person. Or there are leaders who will do it. But everybody should not judge others. You better judge yourself, cleanse yourself, look after yourself, and also try to see how your lamp, is it clean? Mother has given us the light to see, and why not see? So if you work it out on these lines, you will go very fast, and you have to now perfect yourself. We have so many Sahaja Yogis, but how many are perfect? This is the point. Now your relationship to Sahaja Yoga is also very important. There is a marьяда about it very much. Sahaja Yoga should not be taken for granted. Anybody who thinks he's got realization now he's sitting on top of the world is not so. You must work it out, you have to have discipline. The same gentleman, the BBC fellow, was saying that it was before, for years together, you had to live in celibacy and wash the even the steps of the temple and do all kinds of things, work hard, do this, do that, and then they would raise it to one chakra. I said, now we do it the other way now. First build the dome and then the foundation. Sahaja Yoga is like that. So that with the dome you understand you are protected, you are looked after. But people take it for granted like mother will do it. Leave it to mother. No, it is not so. You are my hands. Supposing my hand have to lift this, I should say that Nirmala will do it. Now which is Nirmala? These hands are the Nirmala at this point. So many people drift like that. So to Sahaja Yoga also your attitude should be of respect. You should not try to put yourself into bandhan before others. You should not try to do these things, but in a dignified way, you must respect Sahaja Yoga. And foremost of all, to Sahaja Yoga, your relationship should be that you should know Sahaja Yoga what it is. Otherwise, every time, if you have to talk about Sahaja Yoga, Gavin must come. Or somebody. Why? Gavin didn't know a word about Sahaja Yoga. He didn't know a word about Indian mythology. He didn't know anything. He did not know what his realization is. He studied. He is even studying Sanskrit. Like many of you have done it. But all of you, one and all, should become a big Pandit. But you get lost in your marriage problems, then your children's problem, then my mother, then my sister. I mean, it will take too much time for you. First of all, you should see, I am a Sahaja Yogi, let me get to work. And creates problem for us also, because your wife will sue you, your children will come round, this, that. You should say, I have nothing to do, I am going to study Sahaja Yoga. I was surprised that many people have taken Advent just like as a Bible. Just as a Bible. They never read it. I was surprised that some people do not know what I have written in the Bible. So it is like the Jews, you see, having a golden Bible tied up here. They keep the Advent in a very good cover near the photograph, worship it, finished, and the knowledge goes into them. You must read some chapters of at least of Advent, if not anything else. There are so many books you can read, I have told you. Try to make your own library, try to improve in it. Everybody must try to perfection it. You should never be a liability on Sahaja Yoga, but a great asset of Sahaja Yoga. That's what everybody should try to be. That your problems I will solve, but you solve your...
जय निर्मल माता त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री भगवती माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
बजती रहे इच्छा मेरी कुछ ना रहे मर्जी तुम्हारी चलती रहे। हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरम् रखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं करणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरम् मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दुष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते रखिलं मधुरम्